Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope everyone is well. Ionis, how are you? Okay, Friday, 14th of June. We have got some news coming up around about 3 o'clock, which is 3 o'clock UK time. So, what are we looking at? Okay, I ummed and ahed about this, whether it was a bigger channel. K3, how you doing, pal? I looked at that, whether there was a bigger channel there, and I was looking at this. It looked like it was sort of trying to push down, but when I took that away, I think that looks much better. We got a touch, couple of touches there, a touch there, a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. So that, to me, I think looks played out, whether you consider that a break. And this is up. It kind of looks like it, but we are sort of making... almost kind of like range highs. So I know sometimes when we have a push up and we have a break and make a couple of attempts, a lot of time it fails, but we just have to keep an eye on that. Karina, how you doing? So I did read something this morning on one of the Facebook groups that Apex, is it the monthly payments are coming out early? Has anybody heard anything? Because I've noticed, although I've not got any evaluations, I've got 20 accounts. I've noticed if I click on the evaluations tab on my dashboard, it's showing there's 4 accounts in there, even though they've all been cancelled. So I just don't want them to start taking money out. So always seems to be one thing after another, doesn't it? Okay, market is open. Okay, so this does look like it. We are sort of working up now. Let's see what sort of day we have. Hopefully, okay. I did have a couple of trades yesterday, pre-market, just on single accounts. I don't like trading anything more than single accounts at pre-market because it's that slow. And it doesn't. I like to get in and out of a trade. Sorry about that. Do you know what? I was just looking at this. Now, I know we don't trade patterns, but this looks kind of like a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, and a shoulder. I was looking at that thinking I'd like it to make a new high, but this looks like a sort of a head and shoulders pattern, doesn't it? I don't trade patterns as a rule, but shoulder, head, shoulder, they're usually a bearish pattern, aren't they? But we had a break. Well, this is 2 legs down and a push up. It could even be a triple test, couldn't it, in a push up? Have to keep an eye on that. So, Private Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Did you watch Mac's video from yesterday? I was interested in what he said about risk to reward. I didn't know. I think I looked at about midnight before I went to bed and it wasn't up. So I didn't, but I'll have a look later now you mentioned that. Speedy, how you doing, mate? Chris, how you doing, pal? Did you not find a faster way of posting? This is about as quick as I've got, to be fair, mate. And in all fairness, it's pretty quick. I'll show you. So right click, capture image, go like that. Delete that. Right click, copy, drag it into Discord, select, done. So it's pretty quick. It takes about 5-6 seconds, something like that. So whether there is a quicker way or not, I don't know. But That's pretty quick. I'm all right with that. I can literally from selecting that to posting it takes me about 4 or 5 seconds. So I'm all right with that, to be fair. So what are we seeing here, folks? It does seem like a spiking channel, doesn't it? The only trouble is we're getting a little bit of distance from this top here. So are we going to get a break? It's hard to say. Light shot is good as well. Screen, is it really light shot? Yeah. Oh, compared to how I used to do it, I had to go down here, go into type snipe, go into the snipe tool, select that, save it to a folder, move one of my windows over, try and get the folder, open it up, right click it. It was a bit of a ball ache, but you don't need to save it. You can just Control V on your Discord there. Yeah, this is pretty quick actually. It's pretty quick. I have that down in the dashboard there, and I just capture image, select it, and it's pretty quick actually. So, what are we doing today? Friday. Oh, I still don't feel right. I had a few beers the other night. Well, rather a lot. I still don't feel perfect. As the older you get, these hangovers tend to last a little bit longer. I still feel just slightly rough still. And as you know, you can click Windows key plus Shift plus, and you have it on Windows. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of different ways to do it, isn't there? I've got 1 day to make 15k last 250. Yeah, to be fair, Chris, you can take a bit of time, mate. I think you've got up until the 15th of July to still get that $85 lifetime fee option. So you can take your time if you wanted to. But if you're like me, you kind of want to get it done in one push. I used to get a bit impatient. But yeah, I think you've got till the 15th of July to get that same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Someone else confirmed that. I'm pretty sure you've got till the 15th of July to have that same offer, the $85 offer. I'm pretty sure that's the case. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's have a little flick onto a Facebook group, see if I can find something just to confirm. No, I can't see anything at the moment. I'm pretty sure you have. There you go. How you doing, mate? 15th of July. Yeah, so you still get that same offer. You can pass it in 1 day or as many days as you want, really, as long as you've traded for one. And I think it's $85, isn't it? It's not a bad deal, actually. $85 if you want to, if you want a 250k account or something. I'm just looking at this here on the CL. Whether we've had a small break there, so 2 attempts to go lower. There's a lower high there, but that bar's pretty big in it. And we're going short into support. It kind of looks like it's going to work though. Does look like a head and shoulders, but it's just a bit big there. And it's not only that, it's going short into support. I've always tried to stay away from that, regardless of whether I think, but you can clearly see it's bouncing, can't you? So it may trigger that and push up. We haven't had a new high yet, but I've gone from there. It's as tight as I can there, and we haven't had a break. So I can't consider a break in a new high already. And then a triple test, so you know where you're going to get a triple test. 1, 2, 3, and up. Dear, it's hard to say, really. 1, 2. It's very tempting, that is. Very tempting. We have kind of had a triple test, haven't we? What to do? "13 ticks, it's a fair old size, that. Reef. Yeah, it looks like it's working. That does. It just finished quite large, that did. It is a triple test. We haven't had a break. Trouble is, it's a big ass risk. So if you go, say, a tick above there and a tick below there, it's a $440 risk on 2 contracts. I'm not really interested in that. I would have not been out yet either. That's going to tick above there for sure anyway. Yeah, might have got out there, but that is just too much of a risk. And to be honest with you, we didn't even get a pullback on it, so I could have gone down to 1 contract. I might not have even got it anyway. It moved that quick. Loafy, how you doing, pal? How you doing? There is what looks like a small overshoot there. Touching here, touching pretty good there, even there, touching tight there, touching tight there. I mean, you could, depends how you have it, if you could take that down to there and move that up, in which case you haven't, so tough on that. I think I'm probably best to put it from that bar. In which case, maybe we haven't. In fact, if you put that there, touch is perfect there, touch is perfect there, so maybe we haven't. Indy, how you doing, my friend? So, leg down. Looking for another leg down. Ideally here, actually. I like the way we've got to the top there, so if we can get a leg and a leg, maybe an option, but keep an eye on that news as well. So, little channel there with a break. If we can get below here, that will get us down to here. Technically, that's the first entry, so if we can get down here, that will look okay. Have we got anything further across support-wise? There is a little bit there. There, and there, which we're bouncing off a touch. But we need to come down here, then that'll be okay to go along there as far as I'm concerned. They all just seem to be getting stuck in yellow. Yeah, it does happen from time to time.
Order submitted.
Mine are okay at the moment. Sometimes it does. Just if you do open an order, make sure you open it down here. If you're looking to buy or sell, whatever, just buy down here, sell up there. Keep it plenty much out the way so you've got time to sort it out. But if for some reason they freeze, and try and shut
Order
it there.
canceled.
If there's anything that shows orders, right click and shut that down and then restart. If it's still showing, restart NinjaTrader and that'll kill all these. But yeah, it does happen sometimes. I'm not sort of major sure exactly why. I did email NinjaTrader and they told me to do a few things, change this name, do this, do that, and I did it. And it seems to have improved a little bit. So if you keep getting it, just drop them a quick email. They're usually pretty quick to respond. I can't find the email that they sent me so I can show you what to do. Took that EMA, bounced off, hidden second entry long. To pat. Are you on evals? Yeah, I take more with evals. Where'd you go there, did you? That bounce there. So we got a leg there with a break. Hopefully, once we get below here, if we can get another leg. The fact that we've come off the tops as well, I'll be okay to take that. Come on, give us a nice setup for the weekend. That's what we want. Come on. Let me just have another look, see if I can find that email. Can't seem to find it. No, I can't seem to find where it was. Just drop me if you keep getting it and it's causing a problem. I'll just drop me an email. They're usually pretty quick. They got back to me super quick. That news is in 10 minutes though. That's the only thing. Seems to be specific to Apex account, my personal account. Though, yeah, I did read somewhere it was something to do with SIM accounts. Now I believe, well, I'm pretty sure that the Apex is a SIM account. If it's through Rhythmic, I think that it is a SIM account. So, yeah, just drop them a message, and they told me to go into a certain file and change your name and then restart something, and it seemed to help. So just check that. Do you know what I like here? Very, very tempting this, depending on how it finishes. Leg, break, leg. We haven't made a new low yet, but we may do that here. Another tick and we'll have a matching low. There we go, matching low. That's good enough, I think. There we go. Tick below. Now turn. Come on. I like that. Two nice legs back. That's okay. But you know, when you just think we're never going to get a bullish bar, it's for some reason, whenever you see almost a perfect setup start, it just never finishes, does it? It just never follows through. Look at that. A perfect area to get one. Nice big bullish bar here, over here, making a new low. Little leg with a break. Perfect place to take one here. Nice and bullish. And nothing. Well, as yet, anyway. See, that could work. That. What's it like on... No, bars and F on the other chart as well. Okay, maybe we get a higher low. Trouble is, this news is pending. It's in about 7 minutes. So the last thing we want to start doing is be stuck in something here. What I will say is, if you notice, since that they've taken away the 90% off, things have calmed down a bit. We're not, I mean, we were getting a lot of drama. If you look in the Apex, we're getting constant messages with people saying this is broke down, that's broke down. And if you look, we've had no issues. And this was put on a couple of days ago when the offer went. And look, we've had nothing really. So we're not really getting, not that I can put a comment at the moment. If they took the comments away, that might be why it's on that main chart. What are we getting at the moment? Using 7 minutes. Delete. Someone said they're frozen. I tried this morning, everything fine. It's working. I traded without issues earlier. So it seems to be okay. So it seems since they've got rid of the 90% off, things seem to have calmed down. Which, if you want the good offers, it's not good news. But Thomas, how you doing, bud? Mac addressed the fact that the market is more difficult trade nowadays compared to before, compared to COVID, for example. Yeah, it just seems whenever there's bad news, there's money to be made, which is a bit wrong, really, isn't it? it kind of makes you hope we get bad news, but you can't really wish for that, unfortunately. But yeah, what type of bad news is bad news but not terrible, not detrimental to life? But yeah, I think whenever there's bad news, there is a lot of volatility, isn't there? And volatility seems to spell profit. So look at this. So we've had a leg and a leg, and we've had two bars that have held in a big push up and a little pullback. So if we can tick below here this short, there may be a higher low there. The only trouble is the news is coming up in 5 minutes, and it could trigger you, and then start to go like that. So when it does that, it could trigger you, and then start to go like that. See, because there's always a possibility that there is a bit of a could go a bit sideways anyway, couldn't it? So really, unfortunately, the best thing to do at the moment, we've got 4.5 minutes before the news. So what I find is a good indicator on what the news is going to do is how Bookmap looks, because Bookmap, all the orders seem to turn away. Sometimes I've noticed the order stays and the news does nothing, so somebody seems to know something somewhere. Let's have a look. Is this live? Yeah, okay. So this is Bookmap at the moment, and so far orders are all still there. So what you usually find, if the news is going to be a little bit dramatic, a lot of these orders, all the yellows and oranges and that, just start to go black. So you can see them at the moment. There's plenty of colour there, isn't there? There's a little bit of black there, which is normal. Obviously, there's not a lot of orders there. It'll move up, pick off liquidity and so on, but there's still plenty of orders there. So I'm just going to drag this out of the way for a minute. And then we'll come back to it and have a look in a minute and see if it's if those orders good. Because sometimes it doesn't really matter. See that? We've got a matching high there, so we can recount. That is a second entry long if it forms. Unfortunately, the news is in 3 minutes. And 1, 2, 3, we could get a triple test here, once, twice, 3 times, which would be beautiful, but no bloody good if we're waiting for the news. If that closed there, see, we get a nice solid bullish pin bar looking nice, then second entry triple test, but what can you do? So, do we consider this a break, or do we adjust this chart a fraction? Because that also fits. Tough on that, is it? Is it a break or is it not a break? Let's just assume it is. But you could adjust it to not really do a lot. Okay, that news is coming up in 2 minutes. They'll likely pull the orders right before. Yeah. Sometimes I've noticed, but they don't. And nothing happens in the news. So whether what they're expecting, how it works, I don't quite know. They're all going black now, look. Where are we now? 2 minutes. Yeah. Starting to go black now. There was a lot of colour around here, all the reds and yellows, so I'm guessing we're going to get quite some volatility. But I've noticed sometimes it doesn't. Everything stays there. So I suppose, the institutional guys... Do I say hello? Hello, Rodian. How you doing, mate? Sorry, bud. I think the institutional guys tend to have a better picture of what's going to happen. So if you are in a trade, folks, that news is coming up in 1 minute, and I'd expect some volatility. So to add some of these new 250 accounts, I have to close. Anyone know if close a PA account, that's not a payout yet? I mean, worst comes to worst, Brad, you can just blow it, mate. What you can do is here's one for you. Enter here. Go for $1,000 move or $2,000 move. And if it blows, no issues. And if it makes $2,000, move on to the next 50k account. So I'd try and get a bit lucky. I would try and be a bit cheeky and just go for $800 or $1,000. And if you win it, pick the next PA account and do it again, and do it until the PA account gets blown. And you may get a bit lucky. Trust me, when you don't really need the money, you tend to be able to make it. So that's what I do. Yeah, as long as you don't go mad, just trade 5 contracts, put a fair stop and a fair, and see if you can pick $1,000 up. And if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, you got nothing to lose, have you? You move on to your 250 account. I thought about that myself. So it's worth a go if you get lucky. Pick another PA and try it again. You never know. You might get 3, 4, or 5 PAs, making $1,000 before you lose one. You never know. See, that's the type of trade you want to take down here, isn't it? When we've had a big channel and a break and a new low, enter here somewhere, put your order up here and put your stop here and just see if you can get lucky. Close a few PA accounts. Then have them. Yeah. No, but what I mean is on one of your 50k accounts, just see if you can make 1,000. And if it works, just take another one. Take another 50k one and wait till you lose one or something. Rather than just close it and make nothing, at least you've got the chance of making something. And then if you happen to make something in the one account, then, go for the next one. Now you notice I got 20 accounts now. I am treating them like me kids. I'm not putting them at risk. Absolutely not at all. Which is good news for me. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So we've got a leg and a leg. So we've clearly had a break of this channel. So if they pay out when you close the account, that'll throw away a few $1,000s. Well, no, what you do is you get one of your 50k accounts, and if you can make $1,000, you keep that account, and you take another 50k PA account and try it again. And if you lose it, because you want to get rid of one to replace your 250 account, don't you? So just risk one. And if you lose it, then you replace it with your 250. If you make some money in it, then keep that account and then do it with another smaller 50k account. Because you're going to lose one, aren't you? If you want to replace it with your 250. And as long as you do a normal trade and don't go mad, just go for 5 contracts, put a fair stop and a fair what's it, and then they can't, as long as it's a fair trade, they won't not pay it. Unless you go mad, you put the sort of, a massive stop and a tiny bit of profit on 10 contracts. Okay, what is going on here now? I'm expecting this to make a new high. Leg and a leg. Okay, so that's that sorted. News is done and dusted. Yeah, it's a shame that it was looking like we may get a nice setup there. Leg down and down. If we got a nice bullish bar, there may have been an option to go long there, but we didn't really. And then it pushed up, and then obviously the news kicked in and sent it down a bit. I'd still like to. I actually like that channel. I think it fits nice, and it's fitting nice there, right the way along there. So even though we've had the news, which didn't do a huge amount, I mean, the biggest bar there was about 6 or 7 points, which in the grand scheme of things isn't huge. The ATR was around about 4 here, so it's not huge. So I'd still like to make a new high eventually. Okay, bit of a push. I won't be thinking about a short here, regardless of whether that's a channel or not, because of the drop out of here. It'd be nice actually to trap some shorts there and then work up. Okay, let's see if this traps any shorts. I just can't go shorter after this. I mean, you could say that's a break, but we've not hit the high, and it's only really one attempt. Usually we'll make a couple of attempts. So let's see if we trap some shorts here. I mean, it may come short, but I just can't think about shorts here at the moment. Okay, that's triggered. So let's see what happens now. There is a possible short failure here. First one, second one. See what happens. I mean, it may come down. It's pretty hard to read at the moment. But with this, usually you'd have at least an attempt. That to me is a break. I wouldn't consider that as a first attempt, really. I mean, you could, but I'd certainly expect another one. That's just more of a volatility spike. But sorry about that. Trouble is, it's all right doing that. It kind of fits in a way, but we've had no real confirmation that this isn't going higher, really, are we? The news has pushed it up and then down a little bit, which has created this little bit of a breakout, but I'd still like to experience a new high, and that one I think is a bit too dangerous. I'd like to see sort of 2 pushes, and really it's not really. It took the failed second entry short. Trouble is, if you look at this, your high, there's your failed second entry short. Is that the one you took, was it? That one really isn't. It's just a break. And it's only I mean, you could say technically it's a second entry, but there's not really 2 I mean, you could say there is. Push, a little bit of a negative bar and another push. But in my opinion, because we've had this channel with a break, we haven't really made an attempt to push higher, so you don't know whether it's going to trap you. I can't start thinking about shorts until at least makes an effort to push that. It's not to say it's not a good idea, and it's not to say that it's not going to work. But the picture that's telling me at the moment is we've got a clear channel up here. It's touching multiple times there and including there, and the top is nice. We had 2 legs and it was looking like we were going to push up, and then obviously the news, we had a spike up and down. So you don't know whether this is going to push up traps and shorts and then start working up. It's a bit, but I mean, I'll tell you what, I see what's his name, who's Bart. Now Bart takes a lot of trades, but it works for him. So I tend to not want to take losers. I don't like taking losers. So I'd rather wait for those, what I consider sort of 95%, 98% sort of trades, the ones that tell me this is going to work. But what Bart does is he takes setups and he has more losses, but if you can put up with the losses and take maybe 70% trades, it's still going to make you money. It depends what sort of angle you want to have in your trading. So I get it if people take more trades and they're okay with the losses, because if you're taking 70% win trades and you're nearly going for 1-to-1, you're going to make money all day long. But you've got to have the confidence to do it. You've got to be able to put up with losses, and you've got to stick to it regardless. So he may have taken a trade like that. In that case, it worked. So it's there's different ways to look at risk, isn't there? Some people don't like a lot of risk and want to go for high probability trades. Some people don't mind a little bit of risk and go for slightly more aggressive trades. Now there could be a downtrend there, but I haven't really seen anything that's told me we've had a break as such. Let's have a look. So it's a tough one, really. So you could say we've had a break there, but we haven't made a new high. I don't think it's not even a matching high, and that to me is a first attempt. This isn't a break, see, so that attempt, it's nothing really. That is an attempt, but can you consider it an attempt because it's a news volatility spike? I mean, even if it is, it's only one attempt. Usually market likes to attempt something twice. But there is a possibility to have 2 legs and then it pushes up. But although there's always that possibility that we could be laying down some range highs and we could end up doing this. It's a bit unclear. And while it's unclear, taking trades like that for me is just a little bit risky. If I'm not sure I've got a good idea what's going on, but now we're getting more of a move down, then it makes sense. But at the time, what do you do with that? I mean, you could say there's a small break there and a matching low. You could say, oh, a little double bottom. So we've got a channel here with a break. Now we've got a little double bottom. There's also a leg and a leg. So you just don't know whether it's going to push up, trap some shorts, and then push higher. So it's just reacted too far now. So probably no. Yeah, I get that. Once it continues down, but at this point that really is a break, and it's actually 2 legs, so that's the bit. But obviously now I can see this, it comes down again and again and again, which is why I've drawn that channel. But at the time there, you have to sort of, do I go for it or do I not? Now if that had triggered and pushed up and I'd have posted a picture saying why didn't that work, the answer would have been, well, we got a channel up there with a break. And then we pushed up at a new high. So as long as I still think there's a possibility of a new high, I can't take a short here. Because really, there is a break there, but that is one attempt to go higher, but it's also because of the news. So I'd at least expect another, and we haven't really. So that's what makes me cautious about taking shorts. I took it on the high that broke the EMA. That one there. Oh, you actually took it there, did you? Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I tend to think that everyone trades patsy, and we all trade different ways. Your trade could be, you might be taking a trade where, or I might be taking a trade where you may be just getting out and taking your profit. So there's so many different scenarios. That's why trading's so damn complicated. So yeah, that's why it's not trading's not easy. It does take, you know, a few years to really start to get to understand it, and then many more years after that to just keep betting. Do you ever master this? Maybe you do. I wouldn't have thought you ever do. You know, even Mac, sometimes you're always learning something. So this is one of those jobs that you just get better with experience, but you may never kind of master it. The wick on that signal bar kept me out. That second entry short, but you know, the trouble is, I mean, if you look at it as itself, you could say there's a little push up, a little pullback, and then a push up. So you could consider that a hidden second entry long. By the count, you even could. First entry, second entry, even though that's a matching low, you can recount it, or you can still count it. And it wasn't so much the setup. The setup in general, I didn't think was that bad. If we were in a downtrend and this was a confirmed downtrend, I'd probably take something like that. But because of this, we had two nice legs and we were looking to go long there. And then the news happened, which created a spike up and then a spike down. And then we had a bit of a drop. But to me, I was seeing a break, and there seemed to be a leg down and a leg down. Well, a leg and a leg. I mean, it didn't come down as far, but this time, but I could see a leg. A bit of side was in a leg. So you don't know now. We're going to start to move up towards this. And so many times in the past, I've been trapped short here, wondering why when it's gone up made a new high. So it's just, I mean, look at this now. Are we now going to push up, make a new high? Now, are we considering this as two legs? Let's have a look. So we've got a leg there and a leg there. That's more like it. Bit of a spike there, so you could probably bring this back to the top one maybe. Leg and a leg, and now making a new high. So that's what I mean. If this goes up and makes a new high now, that kind of would make sense. Whether it's gone a bit too far, but you took the fell second entry long, not the fell second entry short. Oh, that one there, yeah. It's just hard to say. See this here, why is that pushing up strong like that? Are we trying to now make a new high? So where's the highs there? There, is that right? Yeah, so we've had kind of like over a 50% pullback there, see, so it could still make a new high because of that news that sent it down. May have created two legs and then basically, you know, working our way up. That's why I kind of stayed out of shorts, because you don't know whether we're going to push up here for a new high or here for a new high. I thought it had gone a bit too far, but with this strong push up, you just never know. We're active in the bottom of the break. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? You know, sort of trading is, there's so much to it, which is why it is down to just experience, isn't it? You know, the longer you've been doing it, the better you understand what's going on. You know, Mac describes it as a language. We can all do 6 months and learn to speak a few phrases, but if someone starts speaking fluently to you, you're kind of completely lost. It's a range, it's clear. There's a possibility as well. There's always a possibility that we could be doing something like... It's a bit hard to say, really. But we've pushed up and bounced here, and we bounced again, but that's what I mean. Sometimes the price is really easy to see, really easy, very clear. You know, sometimes we have these days where we get a leg and a leg. You can clearly see that, can't you? Let's have a look. We got a leg and a leg. You can clearly see that. We got a leg and a leg. We got a leg and a leg. So sometimes it's really easy to read and quite clear. And the more clear it is, the more confident you feel in your trades. And then other days, things just don't seem to, you know, look as good. You can see two legs down there. But yeah, you may sort of consider that a trend. It's hard to say. If we push up here and continue higher, I'm not convinced that is a range just yet because of this big vacant area here. You're not expecting a new high. I'm not convinced, because I can't see a decent attempt. That to me is only one attempt, but it's also a new spike, so I'd like to at least make another attempt. So this spike sent prices down, so maybe it's 2 legs down and then a new high. Sometimes the break is a little bit more extreme because of the news. But look at this. This doesn't look like a break of this channel, does it? Well, it does, but it's gone way too far to come down, hasn't it? Which is telling me I'd say we need to break these highs, but that's the trouble with trading. There's so many variables, and one person to another person, we all kind of look at the same sort of picture, but some of us have just got, the picture maybe shaded slightly different. So see if I look at, I got Thomas Wade's thing there, and he's got that different as well. He's not got that as a channel. He's got that with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. So it's hard to say. I don't know. Sometimes things are clear. Leg. Yeah, it's just not super clear as it was. A shame that, because that was shaping up for a nice looking setup, wasn't it? That bar didn't finish brilliant. But even if we'd have had a triple test there to go along there, we had the news pending, so. Okay, excuse me just a second. I hate that marketing calls. Make my blood boil. Hard to say, isn't it? See if we get 2 legs down here. It's a tough one there. See, technically you could say we got a channel with a break and a new high. Tough one. I'll have to wait for the higher low here. If we get a higher low, then I believe we're going to get up here. Oh, that's so tempting. See, there is a possibility we've had a break and a new high there. And that's quite a big bar. It ain't finished yet. $13 ticks, tick above, tick below. 14, 15, 12, 13, 14, 15. $375 risk per account. I'm just going to have to sit tight here because we've had a channel with a break and new high. And it is a large bar. I mean, it is coming back. You could take it a limit order, but I'm just not sure about this because that looks like a nice channel. You could make it wider, but is it wider? So proceed with caution, I think. I think this is risky. Anybody in this? Yeah, that's not what you would see. If you get a higher low, you may have a chance. Trouble is, you get a higher low, then it's congested. So with a nice setup like that, that's not what you want to see. This has just got risk written all over this as. I've done this before, drawn bigger channels and that, but that to me looks like a lovely looking channel. That to me looks like a clear break. Now, it is small. You may misjudge it. You may, it's just one of those things, isn't it? But that is not what you want to see. A tick or two then start to reverse. It may hold. Sometimes these positions do hold, but that to me is a risk, and not just that, it's a bloody big risk. I hope if any of you are in it, it holds, but my feeling is I'm just concerned there may be a higher low here. Oh no. Oh, have we broke below it? No. Oh, skin of your teeth. It's not looking good, is it? Put it that way. Sometimes they do hold. You could say once, twice, thrice, 1, 2, 3, triple test. It's kind of a nice setup, but you have to just look at that. Surely that's going to break below, isn't it? Surely. There's going to be some stops there. There's bound to be some stops there. 2 ticks and it's game over. 1 tick. It's got to be. It's got to. There we go. Yeah, see, you got to be so careful of those. I've been stuck before and making them. I'm just looking on the forum. There's loads of people. Oh dear, it's coming back. What the F? Not my week. I just can't catch a break. Stopped out. I did something, if you remember. We had a large channel like that, and I opened it up and had it wide, and I jumped in on the trade, and Daniel Q. Shin private messaged me. We went, "We've already had a break, mate." So now I'm just always super careful with these. Oh, Thomas Wade took it and lost it as well. Bloody everyone did. You as well, yeah. Yeah, loads of people took it. It caught a few out that. Thomas Wade got stitched up on it. Thing is, well, if it is a range and it's a big enough range, then Mac does mark them. So let's have a look at that. I mean, if we're coming off the bottom, you'd expect it to get to the top. So 2 legs back will get you up there. Yeah, see, to me, I've seen. He almost took it, yeah. See, I had it like that, but I adjusted it last minute. Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to the top, so a lot of the times we'll have a break, we'll come back, and then we'll push up. Same here, we had this down, and then we broke. Then if it is a range, I'm still not really convinced it is at the moment. I'm a bit unsure. It's not massively clear. But what made me question it straight away is the size of it. But look, you can clearly see we have had a break. So, what was the size of it? So if you went a tick below and tick above, it's like $350. I've got 10 accounts on that. I'm not risking $3,500 on that. One, it's slightly congested, and 2, that's clear, and the break is. But I mean, you can adjust it, but I just noticed how nice they were fitting. So for me, it was just a little bit too risky. But quite a few people got bummed. I'm going to say I'd be interested if Mac talks about this, but it's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, someone said Mac will have probably sold this to trapping us all. Well, if you look at that. I mean, forget everything else. Look how nice that's fitting there. That little micro trend. It's all fitting perfectly. We touch there. It's fitted perfectly. Then we go a bit sideways with a break. So for me, it's a short-term trend channel with a little break and a new high, which is why I never took it personally, but it was a second entry long. But because of that, I never did it. Mac will say double top reset count. Notice when the one entry retraces almost back to the top. I'll fail a lot of the times. Only reason I didn't take, yeah. First reason was the sheer size of it, and then Yeah, Thomas Wade took it. Trouble is, we always get the juicy stuff that needs some experienced answers, don't we, on a Friday? And it always seems to be on a Friday when Mac doesn't do his thingy. Triple test, retest, yeah. Yeah, the only thing that stopped me really was that and the size of it. I mean, if we are in a range, it's a big enough range to be able to trade it. It's not small. If it is a range, I mean, it's like 16 points from top to bottom. So theoretically, if you expected that to go up, there's still plenty of space up to the tops. There's 5 points plus. See, I'm just. Well, I was going to say here, I'm not convinced it is a range. I thought we may have a leg, 2 legs of correction, and something else taking us up to these highs, but it's just hard to say, isn't it? Maybe this is a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower, and then we push higher. You took it as well, Lifey, did you? Yeah, you're not on your own, mate. I think loads of people took it. It's looking kind of weak. Maybe we break. Yeah, it's not the easiest trade to read. I mean, the most obvious thing for me, short-term trend channel with a little break and a new high. So technically, you could say it's played out. So that might have something to do with why it didn't work. You just don't know, but it's not a very clear day, is it? But the setup looked quite nice, to be honest with you. Everything looked where it should do. The only obvious answer I can say is we've had a little break out the channel. Ordinarily, if we have a break, you want the 2 legs there and then up for another leg. But I don't know, has this market got other ideas? Who knows? It's not your typical range, really, is it? We hit this area twice. The only reason that pushed up was because of that little volatility bit. So we've only really been up here once. So I would like to get up here a second time and bounce off it and come down before I really started to think about range. Can draw a wider trend setups. Yeah, it's just all them things, isn't it? Let's see what happens here. In fact, let's just get rid of that and draw a proper channel, see if it is. I'm looking on the forum and no one's got it as a range yet, or have they? Oh, they might have. Let's have a look. Thomas Wade's just drawn it as one now. Let's have a look. Let's see if it bounces. It may just continue. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? As I say, some days are quite easy to work out what's going on, and other days it's just that doesn't always seem to make a lot of sense, does it? I have a feeling this trend ain't over. So I wonder if I caught Marco out. I wonder if it caught Marco out. It hasn't said. He hasn't said. Thomas Wade came forward straight away. He said it was pretty much the perfect trade, no problem. So he took it. A load of others took it. Marco's not to be seen. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Thomas Wade took it there. He's got that quite wide. I got caught out that once through wide channel, so I tend to tighten things up. There was a big channel, maybe a month or two, maybe 2-3 months ago. And I opened it slightly wider and it kind of fit. And then I got a message from Daniel saying, it looks like it's already had a break. And we had exactly the same really nice setup. Do you use anything to genuine trades? Yes, but I use TraderSync. TraderSync. That one there. Trader sync. I just add it and it drags everything over, all the details, all the information, everything. It is good to have something. In fact, Wilson had like a free one knocking around at one point. At least Thomas Wade got in a few ticks back, so he tends to do that a lot. It's sensible that I don't much, but I'm going to start to. I used that one for a while. I like it. Yeah, there was only one slight little niggle for some reason. It never gets the amounts exactly right, but it's only extra. It's only usually a few dollars out, but I can't seem to get it to, you know, I've put in my commissions and all that, but it never seems to get it exactly the same. So it's all right. But it's important to use something, I think, because looking over time, it doesn't matter what happens in a day, because sometimes as newer traders, less experienced traders, you kind of base on how you're doing on day to day. If you've had 3 great days, you tend to feel on top of the world. If you've had a red one, you tend to feel a bit down. But I think it's impossible to have, you know, to sort of have that equity curve, because ultimately, I mean, if you've had a good day and another good day and then a great day and a pretty good day, and then you've had one bad one, you feel like crap. But then if you get a small one this time, then there, then down a bit, then up again, another good day, not so good day, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, it doesn't matter that you had a shit day there or a shit day there or a shit day there. What matters is, are you getting a nice steady equity curve? Because that tells you whether you're profitable, not there, or not your bad days. So I think it's important to have something that shows you this, because sometimes when you're feeling crap and you've had a bad day, if you open up your equity curve and you see that, that tells you you're a consistently profitable trader, not a bad day. But, you know, when you're still relatively inexperienced and you're still affected a lot by emotions, it does get on top of you, you know. I know from experience, I get a shit day and it's ruined me weekend from time to time. Yeah, you got to, wouldn't you? It doesn't matter that you've had a bad day. I mean, you can have a $500-600 loss. It doesn't matter. As long as over the next 3 or 4 days you're getting it back, you forget all about that. But you need to get over that, because it's that that's going to cause you to revenge trade. And I know, because I've done it dozens and dozens of times. You get a bad day and you revenge trade, and that equity curve then goes down here and it's gone. Whereas if you can get away from the charts, the next few days or a week or whatever will get you back up there. So it's looking at the bigger picture and thinking, if I can stop revenge trading there, that's where I'm going to get to. So it's important to look at the bigger picture. You know, I remember Sam, 5 Trader, said to me once, he said, some people say comments to you and it sticks in your head, and he went, don't let a bad day define you as a trader. And he's exactly right. Just because you've had a bad day doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. It's what's happening over a month or 2 months. And if you're consistently profitable, I mean, you look at some of the best traders in the world, they're going to have really bad days. But what makes them stand out from a lot of people that don't last is the fact that they can walk away after a loss, which is something I used to feel absolutely impossible to do. But with time, it slowly worked. But it used to absolutely cripple me. I used to feel depressed. I started drinking more. It's horrible. Which is why I mentioned this a lot yesterday. When you're learning, stick on a sim. And then when you eventually move up to an evaluation, just only ever get one. There's no point in blowing 10 at a time, because all it does is it makes you feel more pissed off and it makes you lose more money. Just stick to one evaluation at a time. And then when you start to be able to make a little bit of money, then you can start adding more. That's what mine looks like. It really is. It's looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture tells you what sort of trade you are, not one day. If someone said to me I had a $500 day today, it doesn't tell me nothing. It just tells me you've had one good day. But it doesn't tell me what type of trader you are. If you could say I've had a $3,000 month. I had a $2,000 the month before. I had a $4,000 month before. That gives you a better picture. I'm just looking at this CL chart at the moment. We had this channel up there with, yeah, I'm not sure whether there's a break here. I kind of don't think there was, because I've stitched those two nicely together, and that doesn't really break. There's the first break. So we had one triple test, and we went up and we tried multiple times, and then we're coming down in this channel. So I was looking for a possible second entry short there, but whether it's going to retest this and then I get a lower high on the way down, it's hard to say really, because this could be sort of a bigger range, I suppose. And if it is a range day, the second leg down would get us down to these lows, I think. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. I won't take that one because it's above the EMA. I'd rather wait for it to push below and get a lower high. And if we get a lower high, then I'd expect these bottoms to get broken. It is a second entry long if it forms. It's very tempting. Very tempting. In fact, you know what? I'd even go as far as to do that. God, that's tempting.
Order submitted.
I've got to go for it. Let's see how it finishes. So that's about 170. That's about a 340 risk. So I want to come into that really on a limit order. Otherwise, I'm going to have a big thingy. Oh, hello. That I don't like. I don't like the way that triggered. I'm tempted to get in on a... it was fast, yeah. See, I could get in on a limit order here and only have a couple of $100 risk at the most. But that did pull back quick. I think sometimes the lower high is a better option.
Order cancelled.
And in this case, I think it came back a little bit too sharp for me. That told me there was probably some buy orders at the bottom of there. It looks good. Yeah, I've heard that before. You have a valid Discord link. Says invalid when I try and join. I've not got a Discord, bud. Okay,
Order
I'm
submitted.
going to take this trade. It's a smaller risk, so I don't mind it. I like the setup in all fairness. It's a $200 risk, so I'm taking it on a limit order, so I think it's worth the risk. I haven't taken a trade. It is a clear second entry short. It's closed below the EMA, so I'm just going to have to sort of sit on it and just going to go for that, I think. Something froze here or what? Oh no.
Order filled.
What happened there? $100. Oh, it came back a little bit. Okay, that's fine. I'm all right with that. It's a quick $1,000. Did I get there? What do you call that? A point or what? 5 ticks. It's weird, isn't it? Look at that. I got a little bit more on some and a little bit less on others. Strange that. Okay, that's fine. I like the setup. It's just my confidence level taking more trades at the moment. It's just not great. See if we get a lower high. So what is it? 5 ticks? I think that's it, isn't it? Second entry short. Plus 5 ticks. Gone really slow all of a sudden. I got it on a limit order as well, so it's a clear second entry short. See if we get a lower high. Okay, excuse me just a sec. I'm just going to take a quick 1 minute bathroom break. Okay. See if we get a lower high here. Okay. I'm quite surprised actually. We've pushed up. We've had a break. We've made multiple attempts to come down. We've pushed down strong. We've had 2 clear legs up and a clear second entry short, closed below the EMA. It's come down a few ticks and started to retrace. I'm quite glad I got in on a limit order and got out for a bit. but it's actually, so I've just looked on the Discord. There's a couple of people said perfect second entry short, but the way that's pushing back up, it's just a little bit nerve wracking. But perhaps the lower high is a better option. Sometimes when it's doing this, you think, oh, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. You start panicking, but then you might come back half an hour later and we're down here and there was no issue. But that's the trouble, really. If this comes down for a lower high, that is a better signal bar. We'll see. I hate it just when it's going slow, though. That's the problem. Which chart that set up? It's on the CL chart, but the CL 500. And there's a few traders trading this now. I think Thomas Wade trades it.
Order submitted.
That is a lower high, isn't it? It's not quite finished as bearish I'd have expected. I don't like when it's going slow either.
Order cancelled.
I just don't like this. EMA is a little bit flat. It's just all of a sudden gone really slow. That makes me a bit nervous, that does. So let's just tidy this up a bit. It's almost bloody frozen, that has. Look at that, it's just doing nothing. Nothing. Four, two, three. No trades. What's going on there? 405. It's moving, but it's flipping slow. Look, slow. It's hardly wanting to move.
Order submitted.
Now it goes, look. So it did work.
Order cancelled.
Just sometimes they just take some time. Yeah, look, it's clearly working. Lower high worked as well. Sometimes they just take a bit of time. So if I was trading singles or 2 or 3, I'd probably just drop it in there and leave it. But I'm trading 10 at the moment, and it just takes a little bit of getting used to trading the larger amounts. Look, it's doing what I sort of expected it to do. Well, it's doing what it should do. Yeah, if I'd have just kept that and held, I'd have comfortably got me $200. It's working like it should do. Nice channel there. Got a touch right at the top. Perfect touch, perfect touch, perfect touch. Two lovely legs up. Nice big bearish bar. It's just went a bit sideways, lower high, and it's clearly worked. Yeah, if you'd have got on a tick below there, usually I go for 10 ticks, which is $100 times 2, so there's 10 ticks, so it clearly did what it was supposed to. So, nice trade there. Unfortunately, it just went a bit slow. And I actually got another limit order, I could have got a bit more, but the trouble is hindsight, you never know. That's how that fell. Second entry, long trap setting up. So we have got a channel with a break, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's coming right down that now, that CL. It's just moving extra slow today for some reason. Volume is low. Comfortable points there. So if you'd have got on the tick below there, I mean, look, plenty. I should have just recognised it as a lovely trade and just left it. Trouble is, once you start trading larger amounts of PAs, I tend to get a little bit too cautious. Yeah, I wouldn't be thinking about shorting here until it got up here. Having said that, see, but there is. It turned there before, didn't it? So you don't know whether this is going to turn or not. Trouble is, it may trigger you and push up. It's hard to say. I mean, I avoided these for such a long time. It's only recently I've started taking them a little bit more. But as we've had a break, I'd like 2 pushes up. As we know, market likes to move in twos. 1 leg, 2 leg, 2 legs down, 2 legs up. I'd like to get up to here if we can, but and there's always a possibility we got a bigger leg up here with 2 attempts to go lower, and then the sort of penguin talks a lot about that. There is that possibility we've got, we push up, we make 1 attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, and that pushes up, which gets us up to the top. So I wouldn't be shocked. Oh, look at that now, look. God, how frustrating that is. An absolutely perfect setup. So why didn't I have the confidence to see it through? Maybe because the amount of contracts, the amount of accounts, but look at that. Perfect second entry short. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got a channel with a break and a new high, and we seem to be moving down. So there's always that possibility that we've been up here before and came down. So maybe that initial push, couple of legs down, and this is more the range. Trouble is, I couldn't bring myself to take that because it could trigger you to push up to the top. So that's the trouble. Yeah, see, that's what I mean, Bud. You're thinking may need to go up to that next level. I am as well, which is why I rule out that, really. As we've had a break and a new high and we've pushed down below that EMA, I would say I would more likely expect it to come back towards the bottoms, but it's just one of those things. Sometimes they're easy to read, sometimes they're not. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Okay, it does look like we're pushing up again. That's the trouble. You can't go short here because you don't know it's going to do that. You can't go short here because you don't know it's going to do that. Aye, 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 aye. Seems to have gone really slow, doesn't it now? So I wonder whether we are going to get up here now. Leg up. 1, 2 attempts to go lower. Another leg up. Who in the hell knows? You know, I'm just looking on this Discord. It's amazing how different some of these flipping channels are. Some guys just took it. Look at that channel. Second entry long there. On the ES. I've got nothing nowhere near it. Even on this second chart. I've got not a second entry short. It's amazing how these charts tend to vary that much. I need one trade to end the week green. Yeah, it's always nice to end the week green, isn't it? I'm up $1,000 over me 10 accounts. Do you know the frustrating thing is now I'm trading these more accounts, I seem to be getting less confidence. So I think the last 3 trades I've taken, I've got between $100 and $120, and I could have got the full $200 on all of them. So I'm probably down about $3,000 from what I could have been up. But I'm not too fussed. I don't mind easing myself in. Don't get me wrong. If I'd had $6,000, $7,000 or $8,000 in each of these accounts, I probably would have held on for the 2 points. But it's the first time I've had 20 accounts. Now my confidence and all that is fine. Sorry, my discipline is fine. My I'm not blowing accounts. I haven't done that for a few months, and my psychology is fine. It's just the confidence in holding a trade. because my head thinks when I was up $100 there, my head thinks if I come out now, I've got $1,000. If I leave it and it goes against me, I'll be down $2,500. So, yeah, I have. Yeah, I do. Exactly. I have a lifetime license, so I'm kind of happy just taking a point and a half, $100, $150 per account. The trouble is, if I'm only taking that and I'm losing the full amount, then, I've obviously got to make sure I have way more winning trades than losing trades, but my discipline's okay, and I'm generally taking what I consider to be solid trades, and in all fairness, the way that's touching there and there, I don't think they look much better than that, really, as a second entry short. The fact that it went sideways doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but we had a lower high, and look how that pushed down. We had a channel there with a break, made multiple attempts to go higher, then we had a strong push down, and 2 clear legs up, trapping some longs, so you'd expect that to work. But when it starts to go sideways, you start asking, your brain goes, ooh, is this good? We all love those trades that seem to trigger and work in a split second, but they don't really often happen. But there is a possible short here, which I don't think it's that bad. See if we get a lower high. I like the fact that we've had a break, we've had a push up, whether you consider this, but we've had 2 clear pushes up. It doesn't finish yet, and it's 11 ticks. Yeah, it's a doji. I'd rather wait for a lower high, really. But we are where I'd like to be. But I think the lower high just rules out the chance of getting triggered and stopped out. But the bar's a bit naff, in all fairness. My concern is this, though. 1, 2 attempts to go lower, and now we're pushing up. So I have a feeling we're going to get some. We're going to get up here somewhere. We had this big push leg, big leg down, break, leg up, 2 attempts to go lower, and then another leg up. So, wow, that moved down quick. Unfortunately, the bar was a bit dodgy. Sorry about that. Oh, don't do that. That CL1 looks like it's coming down for that full 2 leg. Down, leg down. Well, there's something larger there. Could be. That's a thought. Did we fill that gap? No, we haven't yet. Have we not got far off it? Or have we? No, we haven't. Not quite. And a good effort. See, there is that possibility. 1 leg up, we could come down. Yeah. It's a bit hard to say. I'd just like to get something on this chart, be nice. I think the last couple of trades seem to be getting everything on the early ones rather than the later ones. Something along the lines of that. That looks like it from me. 2 legs up. How long have I been going for? 2 hours. I might just take a quick break, actually, make a drink, mind you. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes, folks. I'm dying of thirst. I'm just going to put that there. It's my break, 5-minute break. So I'll just quick cup of coffee and I'll bring it back up. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, folks. Right, well, it ain't done much, is it? Is it going up? Is it coming down? Who knows? Is this a bit steeper? It may be. Maybe a spar. I just don't like this big gap here, really. I'm not sure about this. That I don't like. I'd much prefer it sort of at that angle. See, excuse me, we've broken above this, and we've got a relatively bearish bar and a bit of a push down. It kind of looks like a leg, a little bit of sideways in a leg. What's going to happen here? Doesn't look in a rush to come down. It may do. No, it doesn't, which is why I've kind of moved it. We'll have to see what happens here, really. Normally we'd have a couple of legs up, and then if we were in a range at the right place, we'd come down from there, but it's continued. And that bar there has triggered. There's kind of like a hidden second entry long there, so I'm not convinced we're not going to continue on up to here, but excuse me. If it gets below here and comes down, I'll get rid of this. There is a possible down here as well. We're kind of hitting this. We haven't made that measured leg yet. I'd expect this to likely to come down to here somewhere. Look, we've kind of got a push up and a push up. I mean, count wise, it's only really a first entry, but I kind of like the way we've had this channel to break in a new low, a retest, a couple of pushes up. Yeah, I should have just identified. You know, sometimes I've got to say, we've got a leg down there. It's a really lovely setup, that. It's a textbook second entry. 2 clear legs. But the trouble is, the way price action's been lately, you know, when you see a setup and you think, it looks a bit too good, I'm suspicious, which is why I got out of it. But rather than, when it was looking like it was coming back at the time, you start to think you've made a mistake. We tend to judge trades on how quick they go down or whether they come back up. But it's a typical second entry, really nice setup for me. I can't see no issues with it. But when it starts to go sideways, you know what I mean? But look how it just came down and so on. But that's the trouble sometimes. You don't always see great setups. And when you do, sometimes you just think, this is a bit too good to be true here, you know what I mean? What, you don't think so? No, well, I think so. I was looking on the What's It chat on What's It site, and lots of people marked it. Second entry short now. Oh. Yeah, a lot of people saying really nice setup. I liked it. I think it looked okay. I mean, we got this channel down here. Let me just get rid of the larger one. We touch here, touch there, fitting beautifully. Touch there as well, fitting really nice along the bottom. Look, touch, 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 touch. Fits really nice for me there. And then we got 2 strong pushes up. Bullish bar is triggered. Nice bearish bar finish on its lows. It's typically, for me, it's a perfect second entry short and 2 clear legs. And I think usually how the sort of the setup reacts is an indication of whether traders got in it. So, reference to the high. Oh, I see. Sorry, mate. So did I have that? Oh, right. I might have been talking about it with this chart up there. Trouble is, I took $100 off it when going for 2 contracts. I mean, if I'd have just taken it down to the bottom, that's for per contract. I'd have got $440 instead of $100. But trouble is, when it goes like that and starts to go a bit sideways, you start to ask questions, don't you? And for me, it's a perfect little setup. It's a really lovely setup. But you know, when we get these lovely setups, anybody else get a bit suspicious and thinking, hold on a minute, why is the market giving away this sort of stuff? No time, yeah. Do you know what I mean, though? Does anybody else get suspicious when they see a really good setup nowadays and think, oh, this is a bit shifty, someone's trying to stitch me up here? You know what I mean? It's, you know, the old saying, if it looks too good to be true, it usually is. So I'm getting bleeps here. Royal Mail's special delivery. For what? Sorry about that. Will be delivered to when? It's alright, I've just ordered one of those Apple Watch Ultras. Trouble is, when you work from home, I tend to spend all my time in shorts, t-shirts and flip-flops. So when you go to the shop, you've got your phone hanging out your pocket, and then your wallet hanging out your pocket when you've hardly got pockets. So I thought I'd get one of those watches where I could just take that, I could pay for it, and I wouldn't need to mess around with the wallet and phone all the time. What ABT, the higher low? What about the higher low of 1546? Excuse me, 1546, around about here, that one there. Now, Mac would say that's gone too far for a higher low, because I used to take, I've taken those before and got stitched. So it's kind of a channel with a break, isn't it? it's a tough one, that, mate, to be honest with you. If you're thinking this is a range, what I would prefer is a little second entry rather than the high. Hey, Terry, how you doing, bud? I've known those. See this channel down here? There is a possibility you could get something like that and it could come down and try and retest it. So I'd probably want to take higher lows. Don't know what anybody else feels. I'd probably want to take higher lows just above this. But it doesn't mean to say it's a bad trade. It's not something I would probably take. But it's a tough one, that, mate, really. It's more of a preference. You probably expect those in a range to work more than they don't. But the trouble is, whenever sometimes I get in around this centre line, it can sometimes cause you a bit of problem. But I don't know what anybody else thinks. Does anybody else take that? What do you think about the second entry long? 1526. Second entry long. That one there. Well, I'll tell you for certain, I'm in Thomas Way's Discord, and there was a load of people that took that and got stung. Even Thomas. Two reasons I didn't take it. One, for me, that channel's already had a break. And if a channel's had a break, it could reverse. So that's part of the reason. And the fact that it was about 13 or 14 ticks was another reason that got me concerned about it. But that, to me, is a channel with a break. If you get into the nuts and bolts of it, yeah, you could extend it up. But I've done that before and got caught out. So you could. But, you know, I came to that conclusion when I was looking at the trade, so I decided to leave it because I thought it's already technically played out and the setup was nice. The only conclusion I come why it didn't work is because we'd already had a break. That was my conclusion anyway. But setup-wise, it's okay. But context-wise, it's a bit wrong, which is why I left it. Context is we've already had a break in a new high. And when that happens a lot of the time, we reverse sometimes. It's not to say we could have pushed up, but that to me is an extra risky trade because of this. But a lot of people got stung, but it is a fair-sized bar as well, isn't it? So if you went a tick above it and a tick below it, it is it's quite risky, isn't it? I got 10 accounts on this. I'd be losing $3,700 if I got that one wrong. But what I've taken on the evaluation, yeah, I'd have risked it, but not on a. But in all honesty, that channel is fitting perfectly. So that is a little break, which is why I kind of left it alone. I've been caught out by them quite a few times before. I got caught out in something similar a couple of months ago. And we had a similar sort of setup, and someone messaged me, said we'd already had a break, and I cancelled my trade, unfortunately. It saved me a few quid. There isn't even really a setup there. There's no even lower high there, really. And this thing, when we had a break, we had a new high straight away, and it continued to go up. Quite probably because of these tops. But then when it's doing this, so you're thinking, is it going to go higher? Or are we going to come down? But there wasn't a setup there anyway, really. Let's get rid of this for now. There wasn't even a lower high there or a failure or anything, unfortunately. If you take that, you don't know whether it's going to trigger and continue on up. Just wondering if this is a larger channel on the CL leg. We haven't quite made a full leg down. Touch, 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 touch. It's possibly a second entry short there. Oh, sorry about that. We had sort of similar there, but we could really be in a channel there, but that looks like a break. So there is two legs up there and a bearish bar. But I think this time round, I think I'll probably wait for the lower high as we've had a break. But I think it's a fair chance we could get down here a little bit. Yeah, we've made nowhere near a measured leg. A measured leg would get us around here where there's quite a bit of support. So I think personally that's more likely to come down. But same again, quite a large bar. So I'll just keep an eye on that. If we can get a lower high, then I may have a go at that. So we came from the tops here, didn't we? We had a break. Two legs down to a new low. So we came from the tops. We got a break. You'd expect two legs down to a new low. We came from the bottom. Had a break. Pushed up, made a new high. So I've got no issues about taking them. A lot of times I'll avoid ranges around here, but this is quite a wide enough range to be able to... I mean, it's nearly 16 and a half points. There is a larger channel in play on the ES. A larger channel. Now, what about something like this? I mean, on the ES. The only thing I can really see is this from the bottom. Oh, I see what you mean, from the bottom. Have a look. Not for me. We've got all this vacant area. It's moving a lot more like a range. It just doesn't look right, that, to me. Started at... Yeah, that doesn't look right to me. We've only been up to the top once. Just because it's bouncing there. It just doesn't look like a channel, that, to me, personally. Anybody else? It does nothing for me at all, that. In all fairness, we've had a push up and bounce up to the top, and we've come down, and down we've gone up. So, yeah, no, not for me. It's just ranging at the moment. So that second entry short and a break has triggered. I'm not interested in this just at the moment. I'd be looking for a lower high really, but I think there's a good chance we'll get down to these lows. See, the lower high would have worked there as well, so if we can get the same here, it's not coming down at a rapid rate of knots, so we may get one. We've got a holiday this week, next week, haven't we? Junty? It's on a Wednesday, I believe, which is my birthday, funnily enough, so I get a day off. Tighten the channel and remove the overshoot. You know about there? You know about like that? But remove the bottom overshoot. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Bottom overshoot at 11 o'clock. You know about that, are you? I don't think I've ever had a channel like that, really. That I mean, I'd argue that may be the starter one, but all this sort of stuff, no, just because it's touching there, it kind of works there, but a bit tighter. Yeah, it doesn't jump out at me, that. No. A bit higher. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about that, bud. It doesn't jump. To be honest with you, it's just a range for me. Just looking through the Discord at other people's, and I think they've all sort of got it the same. Yeah, I think, in all fairness, I think it's just ranging. I'm kind of glad I didn't take that now. Second entry short there. It would have stitched me up. That's why I wait for the lower high there. I don't mind, because for me, with a channel with a break, whether this is a bigger channel, I'm not sure. And sometimes when we get a break, I mean, there's always the possibility that we could be starting a channel here. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I think it's more ranging. I'd have preferred that to come down there, but maybe it's going to try and retest this. See, I looked at that, and there kind of could have been sort of an overshoot, so it's a bit hard to say at the moment. It's not the easiest chart to read, in all fairness, today. I mean, someone said if you're picking tops and bottoms, it's an easy chart today, but it's not really. If you consider this the top, when you come back up here again, where the hell would you take a short there? I don't think you can, really, because we've had a break of the channel and a push up and had a new high, and then we come back and we go up again and we come back and we continue on up and down. So taking that's a no. You can't take that, in my opinion. There's no lower high there. Are you gonna cheat on ES with a CL? I am, Sam. Yeah. Damn right, brother. Yeah, mate. To be honest with you, mate, I've got more set. That wasn't I didn't take that. I was marking it, but I took a trade there. I think I've taken 3 trades in the last 6 or 7 days, and they've all been on the CL, I think. Nice second entry short there. So I'm surprised that one didn't work, actually. But something about that. I'd have preferred to wait for the lower high, but not just that. The signal bar's above the EMA, and the EMA may be starting to go like that, but that one I think was better. But to be honest with you, mate, you know what it's like, Sam. You've been here long enough. It's just not a lot of setups on the ES lately. So you've kind of got to do something, haven't you? If we were taking 3, 4, 5 setups, there'd be plenty to do on this. But look at that, my chart's bare today. Is there anything I wish I would have taken? I don't think that was a terrible trade. Over the CL at the moment, the ES turns it back. Yeah, ES is not brilliant at the moment, is it? Hopefully it's just a phase. But I don't know, there's not else I can really say. Push up. Now, after this channel and a break and a new low and a push up and a retest of this, I don't think a trade like that is too bad. The only slight thing is with that, it triggered and it came down and stopped out for 1 tick before it pushed up, but it is a doji there. I'd have preferred that. If we'd have had a nice bullish pin bar sat on top of that. I see this quite a lot when we have initial push in the overnights, we have a break and we have a retest. We had a break here and there or whatever. A lot of times when we push up and we get a nice little bullish bar with a pullback, that's a lot of the time we get a massive big slow grind up throughout the rest of the day. So I kind of keep an eye out for stuff like this because sometimes they can lead to a good day. And in all fairness, market hasn't really broken much below that all day. I think it's going to tick below there. So if you could have got that bearish pin bar with a wick down here, a lot of the times you get a good move on that. What I'm going to do next month, I'm going to put £5,000 of my own money, which is about $6,000, and I'm going to trade 1 contract. And I'm going to try and go for more points. So I'm going to identify areas where I think we're going to have a big push, wait for a pullback, put it at break even, and then just try and go for a bigger move, or I may put a trailing stop on it where I don't need to be concerned with drawdowns. If it's my own account, I could, as long as I put it to break even, I can let it run up to $10,000 and come back and take me out of a break even. So I want to try, because I am getting better at identifying legs. So, you know, I just think it might be a better option to do that. So, some of you guys trade overnight. Not me, mate. I'm in bed like every other normal person. It's different in the UK, mate. It literally is overnight, isn't it? You US guys can trade from sort of 6, can't you? Is it 6 o'clock or 6 o'clock when the market reopens? You guys can trade for 4 or 5 hours, but it's about 11 o'clock at night for me. I need me beauty sleep. And got lucky. Yeah, some nights you can do. I mean, look at that move. If you get in there somewhere, if you look at that, there's a failure, isn't there? Trapping some longs, so yeah, you capture a big move like that. Trouble is, it's that bloody slow, isn't it? I've not got the patience for this. I mean, look at that. Even if you just followed, if you took that and followed down to each swing, to there and there, you'd have got taken out for 16.5 points there, wouldn't you? If you just left, you know, followed it down. So you can get some good moves. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's the plan. The trouble is, when you trade with an Apex, you've got that $2,500 drawdown, so letting it go 500 or 1,000 points, you've got 36, yeah. That's where having your own account, but I'm only going to trade, that 5,000 will give me about just over $6,000 of my own, so I'm going to trade it on 1 contract. So I'm trading about 2.5%, so I just want to try and capture some of these bigger moves with these bigger legs. But it's not that simple really, is it, with Apex? as long as you've got that drawdown. Once you hit the $2,600, that drawdown stops. So I just want to start to build my own account. For a measured move, yeah. I mean, you never know where, if we start to get, some more sort of regulations for these prop firms, you don't know whether they're going to start to be a little bit more obsolete. I hope they don't. But I certainly think it's good. How can you trade with $5,000? 10, I believe, mate. I think it's $500 per one contract on the ES. That's normal. Obviously, at times of volatility, that they can change that a bit, but you can trade 10 contracts. So trading one contract, $5,000, 1% is 50, 2% is 100. So I've realistically traded about 2.5% on one contract, which is a much more of a sensible amount. But I'd rather go for bigger moves, identifying these legs. But, if we get something like this, for instance, we had this leg down. If we can get another leg down to these lows, you can put your stop down here. Once we get that first sort of break, you could put your stop to break even and then try and let it run. And you've got nothing to lose then. But obviously, if it comes back and gets you, you've lost a chunk of your drawdown. Did you learn that from Penguin Trader? More the legs. Yeah, I do watch a lot of his. I do watch a lot of his stuff because it's very much the same as Max, but it's sort of slightly on a larger level. So you get a little bit more time to count these legs and think about it. But a lot of the time, I identify these legs and you kind of know where they're going to go. But the beauty is, for instance, if I took that trade there, once we get that pullback, I could put my sort of stop to break even +1. So I've covered me commissions and I'm potentially in a risk-free trade there, down to the bottom. So, I mean, look, let's go down 7 points. I'd always go a few ticks, so 6 points. So I don't get this bigger picture. He's almost there. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. I don't get this bigger picture. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. But yeah, so I wanna just start to build my own account up. I think it's good to have your own account up. You get a lot less problems, that's for certain. But so many times where we have these, if you ended up shorting up here somewhere, look where it goes. Oh, okay, yeah. He's actually a really clever trader, I think. But if a lot of traders do, they short the tops and buy the bottoms, and if you can get in on a trade here somewhere, look at the potential profits. I mean, let's say for instance that was more of a bearish buy, you'd be risking, let's say, 2.25 points for a potential. Where did that go to? That went to there. So let's bring it to there. You're making 6.5 times your profit. 6.5 times. So that's the. And if you put your stop here, after there's no risk, none at all, and you can let this trade go. So sometimes you can capture bigger moves, or at least set a trailing drawdown which trails it by sort of so many points. You're sending me stuff, are you? Let me have that. Yeah, see, you're more of a swing trader, aren't you? Yeah, absolutely. Once you can start to identify these legs, and we all know markets move in sets of twos, once you can start to identify these legs, you can really make some good money. If you're making 7 times your profit, you've only got to, if you can get it right 50% of the time, you're going to make a ton of money. But obviously with the drawdowns that we have with Apex, you just can't do it really until you get above, until that drawdown stops. And that's the beauty of trading your own account. Nice and small risk, but hopefully bigger reward. And if you put your stop to break even +1, you got a risk-free trade. You can possibly get some good money there. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to be done for the day, actually. It's not the easiest chart to read. At least I got that trade on that, the CL. So that's a quick $1,000 into my account. So I'm all right with that. So I'm still on the possibility of that. We got that initial leg up. 2 attempts to go lower, which failed and pushed up. See when we came back? We haven't come back to this low. So I think there's a good chance of getting up here. I thought we were going to do it there, but we all of a sudden we reversed, but we came so far down. So it was it mentioned about a channel. Oh, I mean, there could possibly be, but you'd need to wait for it to come up here, really. It's just too wide for me at the moment. I don't know anybody else I can see has got it like that just at the moment. In fact, there's a second entry long there, look. But I don't know. If you can come up to it, then back to it, then it may be the case, but it just doesn't look quite right at the moment. Second entry long there, look. A couple of people took that. I didn't even notice it, to be fair. Quite a small risk as well. Say 3 points. It's still quite a large risk, but a true pull gap can form in 2 different formations. You'll see it. Yeah, so that's the plan anyway. Just to maybe, you know, out of hours, come back to the chart and maybe sort of identify some bigger moves. And but when you haven't got to worry about a drawdown, it just makes life a that little bit easier. So look, have a great weekend. I'm done for the day. So at least I've ended on a green day. Quick $1,000 on the CL. So if anybody didn't see that one, that was it there. We had a channel down there, fitting really nice. 2 clear legs up, second entry short. And I got in there. Could have got a bit more, but I just got a quick bit of money and got out. Pull back to previous measured move, but it depends on the bigger picture. Yeah, you have a lot of success with that, bud, don't you? GG. Yeah, you too, bud. So that's it. I'm done for the week. So I think I got a couple of trades this week. Not a fantastic week, but I think I'm up about $2,000 over my accounts, which is not huge, but it's consistent. Once I can get these accounts up over a little bit more, 2,000 or 3,000, then, you know, maybe I might have the confidence to hold on for me full 2 points or something, which in the last 4 trades I've taken would have all got 2 points plus. So there you go. If you carry on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, stay safe. Have a great weekend. And I will be back on Monday. Bye for now.